abusia me mo bibia la kwa ba de ba akroma TV GH so yaw amo me san ene medim enche bia na eye Ghana mabru ni mu bi omutu omuhu egu Ghana mo nte so ana omoye demonstration na chese ano dem pa na titiru any celebrities na omo to nyom ne abiade omo de omuhu agimu pa na wo kwa Twitter ne so na abusua na esewoni ensa wo ka kire na omututu bi ema ne ogunyanfo Dr. Bawumia ene nana Akuffo-Bawumia se ayese amokire ene kwananda ewo omanimu na ayese moyi omoni na omo no democracy emo mo kwan se omo ye demonti no omo to hu agu mo nten so we na black nie black Sherif ede na no ekoto mu a na ototo bi amane onunyanfo na Akuffo-Bawumia se okọ UN ko gisika chenche bi se ode bebo Ghana ho bla ska no wonfa anya aduma ode atwa na news kedededi na sansem we na eye journalist ni bi obi ode black Sherif ago school pa o se masa before so be kasa no nya fact no correct mani na ensisi so nsam na wo kam eni na so bia papa no onkoje sika bia me fa de mabone e me bata omunyamfo na Akuffo-Bawumia ehun kura isansa wo nsam na wo kam ensisi so papa da we anyanyom to na wo ba betiatiem eha politics ya the fact no kundie e na to se ye de eye adwuma osia ye nkona yenkotie na ye mna sese ya
celebrities ni tweety na black Sherif tweety ba ku bia o chese oko UN conference na danko Akuffo-Bawumia kasa na sika na danko Akuffo-Bawumia boss no o free ho no hu se se sika amanfo gie egu omubotom nie na ye adwen se be fight se sika ye omugigo omubotom omu fa nya de pa bia ma yen no ye se fighting so a police for epese omu hayen eno na oba ebe tweety ye no oba be tweety ye no na omo ahene kwabna sante enso so etie no se da bi da black Sherif wonye careful pa wonye very careful if sensem na wo kan enye no kure e ba se wo che na adwen e wo Ghana mpuntuo se enwie pe ya obetimi a che na adwen but the onhu ye no manenka na danko Akuffo-Bawumia okọ ho no sika oboso no asema no wo ka no black Sherif anti ase nti wonye careful ne yebekọ na yakwa akotie na danko Akuffo-Bawumia ni nsema wo ka no fi se nado eko United Nations General Debate 78th session United Nations omo meeting to 78th session oko kasaye eno na na o chese nkwayo slave trader so emrebi a atwamu no na ekowie se after slave trade no na se nkwasum no atwamu no compensation bi wo ha omode ma Africa na se African countries na omo hu nipa yeye omo nkwa no na danko Akuffo-Bawumia chese ene sa compensation ehu hia pa nti obo omo so se omonye no mutua sa compensation no osa to aso a wo chese sika ene no ma bebre etimi etra ye boda so African borders no so echo these other countries America, European countries, ni other countries apart from Africa no illegal omuta kan say illicit financial flows na just sika free Africa elusu every year bia no $88 billion ntina na danko Akuffo-Bawumia kire say sa $88 billion na da bia afi bia no ye lusu no Africa elusu no omo a sika no kodi omo ho no omo mum pese omo kire say ye ayo Africa na ye corrupt eno na danko Akuffo-Bawumia echim eno so ena omo ahene kwabna sante kire say black Sherif antini ye kura wantini ye kura nti wonye careful wonipa edi nachi nti wonye careful any kan kotie na danko Akuffo-Bawumia nsem na okan kakra ba ni akotie omo ahene kwabna sante ene black Sherif nsem na wo troye no.
For centuries, the world has been unwilling and unable to confront the realities of the consequences of the slave trade. But gradually, this is changing, and it is time to bring the subject of reparations firmly to the fore. Granted, the current generations are not the ones that engaged in the slave trade, but that grand inhuman enterprise was state-sponsored and deliberate, and its benefits are clearly interwoven with the present-day economic architecture of the nations that designed and executed it. Reparations must be paid for the slave trade. No amount of money will ever make up for the horrors, but it would make the point that evil was perpetrated, that millions of productive Africans were snatched from the embrace of our continent and put to work in the Americas and the Caribbean without compensation for their labor. If there are any hesitations in some minds about the paying of reparations, it is worth considering the fact that when slavery was abolished, the slave owners were compensated for the loss of the slaves because the human beings were labeled as property, deemed to be commodities. Surely, this is a matter that the world must confront and can no longer ignore. The African Union has authorized Ghana to hold a global conference on the issue in November in Accra. It is probably also the time to return to that vexed subject of illicit financial outflows out of the continent of Africa. I refer to the report of the panel chaired by the highly respected former South African President Thabo Mbeki on the illicit flow of funds from Africa, which states that Africa is losing annually more than 88 billion United States dollars through illicit financial outflows. Yes, those monies too must be returned to the continent. It is difficult to understand why the recipient countries are comfortable about retaining such funds and are happy to call those countries from whom the monies are taken as corrupt. I believe that a joint task force of the African Union Commission and the OECD Secretariat under the auspices of the United Nations should be charged to find ways of stopping the damaging outflows.
Nti eno na nanado dankwa Akuffo-Addo eko wisa egu honum a wo chese reparation and compensation a yese omutua ama omo a omukonkwaso omura African countries no ebi no yese omutua na sa 88 billion every year bia Africa elusu illegally sikasemu ne normal fam ne bibia mu no so mo mfra ye corrupt na omo a sika ne bidi omo ho no na yese omo fra omo corrupt eno na nanado Akuffo-Addo ekan ye na yenkotie Black Sherif said ye osi etwiti ye nsem na wo kan he no na oman Kwabena Asante etunufo se onye careful oni papa we enye music nti onye careful yenko tie oman ene Black Sherif tweet